Hey everyone, Random Randy here. This is actually Yarn Talk episode 65. The last one I filmed was 64, and I had no idea what number it was supposed to be. If you are new to the channel, Yarn Talk is a knitting and crochet vlog guaranteed to give you your recommended dose of fiber arts, generally in 60 minutes or less, unless it's a live video, and who keeps track of time when you're doing one of those anyway. If you are worried that your fiber intake may be lower than the recommended dosage, feel free to subscribe to the channel so that you can guarantee that more awesome projects like these can keep your hands and your heart full. So, less than a week until my craft market, everybody, and I'm having a little bit of the overwhelms. And when I say a little bit of the overwhelms, I mean a lot of the overwhelms. Freaking out. I just found out recently that this show that I'm doing is not only a 3-day market, but it also coincides with another festival at the same time in an adjacent location. So I feel like I'm not gonna have enough stuff, and I can only make so many things at a time. So yeah, I'm kind of freaking out a little bit about it. So I'm going to show you the few things I have finished, show you the few things that I am currently actively working on that hopefully I will be done with today so that I can start another round of more small things, and a few sewing things and a few not yarn but craft things that I've been working on. So I'm gonna show you the 2 bags that I finished first because there's only 2 of them and it's gonna be pretty short. So this, if it does not sell at the market, will be going up in my Etsy shop probably a week or 2 after the show. I'm gonna give myself a little bit of time to get everything done and posted, realistic amount of time, because I'm gonna have to index everything and catalog everything and inventory all my stuff and take pictures of things that I haven't taken pictures of yet, and there's just all the things. So, bag. This is one of the huge drawstring bags that I make. It is approximately 15 by 17 inches is about the finished dimension, and it has a 4-inch bottom, but rather than it being this way, being a long, tall bag, it is just a wide, long bag. And it has all these Marvel characters on it, and the interior is this. I don't know if you'll be able to see it very well. It is a comic onomatopoeia print. Like I said, it's zap, pow, bang, slam, zoom, snap. Yeah, stuff like that. So, and this is a drawstring bag. It is quite big, has the box bottom, and it is not only lined, but it also has interfacing, so it is sturdy enough to stand all on its own, even with nothing in it. So all of this stuff that, like I said, anything that doesn't sell at the show will be going up in my shop. I'm not sure if I'm going to keep my shop on Etsy for long though. In case you didn't know, which I'm sure a lot of you don't, if you aren't a maker and seller yourself, you probably don't know, but Etsy is changing their fees and some other things, and they're making premium tools available for people who use their platform. Allegedly, the things that you have access to now, they're not going to take any of those away, but they're going to add in extra things if you pay a subscription fee. I guess if you make a ton of money on Etsy, that's probably a good thing. I make, I would say, an okay amount for somebody who stays at home, but not nearly enough to pay out like 30 bucks a month or whatever the fee is going to be for all of the extra goodies. Yeah, no. So anyway, my shop may switch over from Etsy. If it does, I will be sure to include the link on the shop itself, and I'll just take all of my items out because they don't charge you anything for an empty storefront. So the other bag that I finished is the one that I showed you parts of last week, and it is my cupcake tote with the fabric that I have had for like a decade since my early 20s. And this is a huge, huge bag. I've used it a couple of times already, and it is quite substantial. And this, unlike the regular drawstring bags, has very sturdy handles that also have interfacing in them. And it has a magnetic snap closure. And this internal fabric just made me think of chocolate. It's brown with a bunch of bright colored speckles, and it was actually part of the fabric stash inheritance that I purchased. So I have a ton of that. There's probably another, I would say maybe 3 yards of that fabric. So anything I make for bags that will coincide with this somehow is going to be lined with that. So there's that. Oh, and the other one, I don't think I had this finished yet. I didn't have this finished yet, but this bag is the one that I showed you was all pieced together that I was getting ready to sew. And just to show the difference between the two, this is a tall tote bag, and this, just because of the internal print, the way I wanted the direction of the print on the lining fabric in this to go, I made this a long, short bag. This is a taller, thin bag. Just to show a comparison, but they are the same dimensions. They're about 17 by 15. They have the box bottom, obviously, and this is the Halloween print that I showed. It's kind of a kitschy Halloween print. I did find some really cool ones that are more like horror themed, and they're not so cutesy, I guess. But I still like this anyway. And the inside, I just took 2 old fat quarters that I had that were green and gray leopard print, and I cut them in half and sewed them together in a way that they alternated. And the stuff in there is all the things I have done that I'm going to be showing you in just a minute. So this is pretty much my purse all the time now. That's my husband's ironing board, by the way, because aside from fabric, I've never had any need to iron anything, but he has dress clothes and uniforms and stuff that need to get pressed, so ironing board. Alright, so things I have finished now that the sewing chitty chat portion is done. I don't have a lot done, which is making me freak out. And I know some people will be like, oh, that's a lot of things. I only do 1 or 2 a week. And it's, when you're in the psychosis of fair prep, 1 item is not nearly enough. Not nearly enough. Oh Lord, and I still have one of those I have to do, don't I? Ugh. Alright, so first thing I'll show you is this little Jack Levy. I have to finish up the other one of these so that I will have at least 2 of them to go with me. I don't think I'm gonna get any more of these done before the show. I can only put off sleep for so long and accomplish so many things before I have to go to bed. I'm averaging about 4 hours of sleep a night right now. I had to put on makeup so you couldn't tell. It's great. Anyway, Jack Skellington Lovey to go along with the Zero Lovey, which I also have one of those, I believe, in here. Maybe, maybe not. Oh, I guess not. Yeah, I don't have one of those. I need to finish another 1 or 2 of those. But anyway, this is my own design, I guess. I wouldn't even really call it a design though. I just made a square, granny square with Red Heart Super Saber zebra that's the same size as the square on my Zero Lovies. It's 7 or 8 rounds with a K-hook, so it's nice and loose and floppy. The arms are just, I stitched a rectangle that was like 3 rows, folded it in on itself, and whip stitched it together. And the head is just basic amigurumi ball. And then I just did half circles for the eyes and stitched on the nose with the tails from the eyes. And that's Jack. So I will have 2 of these when I finish the other ones. I have the square done, so I just need to do the head and the arms. I don't know why I haven't done it yet. I don't know. Other than I'm freaking out. Anyway, so Jack. Octopus. Big octopus. This is the mini amigurumi octopus pattern that I use all the time, that I found what feels like forever ago from Sean's Crafty Corner. And I did this with bulky yarn and a 5.5mm hook. It actually has gold eyes. I don't know if you'll be able to see the color in it or not. Oh, I guess you can see it a little bit. But this is Michael's Loops and Threads Charisma yarn. It's whatever their pink, black, and gray one is. I'm probably going to do another one of these because I'm trying to use up as much of my bulky yarn as I can, so I get to make bigger toys with the same quantity of stitches. So it doesn't really take much longer than making a teeny one, but I can sell them for more because they're bigger. So there's one of those. I'm hoping to have at least 2 more of these by Friday. By the way, it's Saturday the 8th and the show starts next Friday. So freaking out, guys. I finished up my narwhal from last week, which this is the same pattern as I have in a video tutorial for my narwhal. This is the medium-sized narwhal, but again, I made it with bulky yarn, and I had some bulky just white left over, so I made the horn. He's got the little flippy heart tail. There's another one. I made this, which is a kitty-eared hat. It just looks like a rectangle, but when you put it on, it bows out the top and makes it look like you have cat ears. And yes, I'm going to put it on over my barrette because I'm not worried about it getting hurt. So when you actually pull it down tight enough to your head, I mean, you could wear it slouchy, I guess, if that's your thing, but if you pull it tight to your head, it sticks off the corners here, so it looks like cat ears. So I've got that. I'm hoping to have another 1 or 2 of these. I want to have more than 1 of everything that I have. I was planning on aiming for like 5 or 10, and this close to the wire, that is unrealistic, and I acknowledge that that is now an unrealistic goal. However, for the next market that I will be doing in the middle of October, which is several months away, I should have time to take anything that's left over. Hopefully there won't be much left over. I'm really hoping to sell down as much as possible. Anything that's left over, I will be adding to that for the next show. So yeah, it's... Next thing, I'm still trying to decide if I want to give this little guy a scarf or not. I'm thinking no. This is a bat. It is made with bulky yarn. I have some mill end purple yarn that I got from Joann's that's bulky, and I made the, I think it's just called Little Bat pattern. I believe the designer was Claire Hayes. I will link to it in the description box below the video. And it is super, super adorable. I really feel like at a goth market, this bat is going to do really well. So I have enough yarn to make probably 3 more of these. I'm going to aim for at least 1 more, if not 2 more. I'm trying to balance price points between all of the, not between, between is two, among is many, among all of the things that I have. Some things will be really low on the price point range, some things will be higher. None of my stuff is really that expensive. I'm not boutique level prices or anything, but some of it's going to be a little bit pricier, like mid-ground expensive, I guess. This, which I was going to make into an octopus, decided to tell me at the last minute that it was going to be a jellyfish instead. Just a little keychain, and it's got the little jellyfish skirt, and it's got the little tendril arm tentacle things. So this used up the last of a very teeny ball of yarn. So I'm gonna add that to the Racco keychains. And speaking of finished things, I wasn't sure what I was going to do to finish up my Hemo the Happy Blood Droplet keychains. So I used some puff paint and drew little fangs on them. I think they turned out super, super cute. So I need to make more of these. I have a feeling that these are going to go really quickly. I really hope they're going to go really quickly. So I should be able to get 5 of those. I should be able to do 3 more because I've got 2. I finished up one of the other micro narwhals. I can't decide if this should go on a keychain or not though. Like I said, my kids like really small squeezy toys like this, so I don't know if I should put it on a keychain or not. Not sure. Also, this guy was an experiment. I will call it a misfit rather than a failed experiment, but I figured out tweaks to a pattern to make the next one work and be better. Here's hoping. So this is a little voodoo doll or zombie. I guess it depends on how you want to look at it, but it has a little felt tummy with a heart drawn on it in fabric marker, and it has a little stitch here, and it has an X for an eye and a red eye. And I actually used the pattern for the really small amigurumi bears that Kim from Blue Cherub 82 is making. So this is the exact same body as that, just without the ears and obviously with different details. So that just goes to show you how you can take any basic pattern and tweak it to whatever you need it for. But I did have to rewrite some parts of it because I don't like how thin it got up here. So I wrote everything out differently so it'll be more round up to the neck, and so that I can make it all in one piece instead of having to stitch the head together with the body and the legs. It's pretty much going to start out from the bottom, make the legs, attach the legs together to make the body, stuff all that, do your increases to make the head, finish that off after it's stuffed, and then just sew on the arms. Less pieces to sew is definitely a good thing because I have so many little things I need to stitch together right now. It's driving me nuts. So there's that. I think that is the last finished thing that I have right now. So with the bat, oh, I was gonna say, do you think the bat should have a scarf, or do you think that the bat is cute as is? Because I think that the bat is pretty stinking cute. I really, really like it. Killian almost stole it, and I was like, no, give it a hug and give it back. I don't have time to make one just for you right now. If nobody buys it, I will give it to you. If somebody buys it and you really still want one, I will make you one just for you and give it some sort of detail so that you will know that it is just yours. So that with the sewing is my finished stuff. Actually, I take that back. I have yarn, well, not yarn, I have crafting other finished objects that aren't sewing things. I'm actually wearing one of them. It's a little teeny rosette hair clip. And I have quite a few of them that I made yesterday, just because I wanted to have something really quick to make, fairly small. I'm thinking maybe $10 for 2 as far as prices go, because it's not something that's huge like one of those boutique bows where they're like, oh, it's $8 for a bow because there's 4 rolls of ribbon in it. No thanks. Way too much work. Way too much work. So these particular ones are on alligator. These particular ones are on the little snap clips that were like the big thing in the late 90s and early 2000s. And it is a rolled ribbon rosette. Let me find one that doesn't have stuff on it. But this ribbon is actually a witch hat ribbon. It has a whole bunch of different little witch hat designs on it. Super cute. And I have 2 of them, including the one that I have on my head right now, that don't have any embellishments other than the ribbon, but all of the rest of them have these little buttons that are witchy in nature. This one's a hat. This one is a book of spells. Broom. This one just says magic with sparkly glitter. And these 2 are really awesome witchy shoes, which I thought was really, really cool. Aside from those, I also have these 2 in a different Halloween-y ribbon with no embellishments, and using up scrap fabric because there were some weird cuts of fabric left over after making a bag. Anybody who's been making bags knows that sometimes you get weird scraps and you don't necessarily want to jelly roll, quilt, patchwork them together. So I made hair bows out of the leftover marble fabric that I had. So that, if it will focus, is Thor. And this is on a lined alligator clip. So you could actually use this as a bow tie for like a little kid or a dog if you wanted to. And this one has part of Thor and also Spider-Man. I do have more of this fabric. I don't have a lot of those clips though. Most of what I have is from a bulk pack of these that I bought forever ago when I first started crafting and I was thoroughly convinced that I was gonna have a boutique. And then came to the conclusion that making floofy poofy bows like that totally wasn't for me. So I'm gonna be probably making some more of these with some of the other ribbon I have. I have a whole bunch of Halloween ribbon. Some of it is more creepy than kitschy, cute, like these. These are kind of cutesy, but I like them regardless. I feel like a self-respecting goth wouldn't feel horrible with something like this. So there's those that are done. So I ended up making 8 of these white ones, 2 of the black ones, and the 2 fabric bows. So I'm going to be going through my scrap bag of fabric that I've been keeping because I knew I was going to use it for something. Wasn't sure what though. And probably making a few more of those because that's actually a no-sew bow. So if anybody's interested in a tutorial for something like this, or for the ribbon rosette, the way that I make them, let me know in the comments below the video, and it's something that I plan on potentially doing once the insanity of this fair is all over. So sometime in maybe the next month, potential tutorials for that. A few things that I have left to finish that I am working on. I still have one narwhal that I need to put a horn on because it's just been sitting there in the bag all by its lonesome, so I had to make it friends to keep it company. So I've got 3 little striped zombies here that need their wings sewn on. I do have the wings all done. I just need to take the time and sew them on. I actually made them last night when I was like, I should go to bed. And I was like, you know what? I'm gonna watch this video, this one last video, and it was like 10 minutes long. And I said, you know what? I can at least make the wings for the zombies while I'm watching that, and I can sew them on tomorrow. Because sewing amigurumi together when you're tired is not the best plan. That's how you get amigurumis that have, well, that's how you end up with misfit amigurumis like this one that I still need to put a horn and tail on and just call it a misfit and say, here you go, it's imperfect, but yeah. Because to go to the trouble of trying to find my end to clip that off and undo this, just no. So, I don't think I'll have them for this show, but my misfit experimental toys will probably be going up in my shop at some point in the next month-ish. There's that. The other thing that I'm working on right now is I am making another large-ish monster doll thing. I'm making this in polo stripe, Red Heart Super Saver, and this kind of side profile just makes me think of Admiral Akbar. It's a trap! Anyway, my nerd is showing. Put the nerd away, Randy. Not everybody needs to see that. Anyway, so it has kind of a claw-ish hand and just has floppy ragdoll legs. I was planning on giving it horns. I don't know if I'm gonna do horns now. I don't know. I need to finish up the other arm and then figure out what it needs on its head, because it needs something. I don't know what, but it needs something. So there's that. That is the only other work in progress I have at current. And I'm also going to be taking to the show with me Octavius, which was the first tapestry crochet that I ever did. That was for somebody who said that they wanted one. And I made it, and then dummy me, they hadn't given me any money, so they pretty much never contacted me again after that. But this guy's going to be there for sale so that it will show what I can do, because it's pretty awesome. Obviously excessively larger than a real blue-ringed octopus, but pretty neat. And this is made with Red Heart Super Saver. Or not Red Heart Super Saver. This is made with Red Heart with Love. And all the legs are a slightly different design. Yeah. Also going to be taking Undo with me to see if anybody wants to take her home, because as cool as it was to make it, it's not a huggable for me. It's not something that I would keep in my bed. I'm sure a lot of people have all sorts of squishy things that they hug. I'm not really a stuffed animal person anymore. So rather than having it just sit on the shelf looking cool, I figure I'll try and see if somebody wants to take it home and enjoy it and get some use out of it, because dust collectors make me sad. So, Undo will hopefully be going to a new home. And, oh wow, their color schemes are actually totally opposite. That's pretty cool. And this one is about the same size. So, hopefully somebody will want them. So that is all I really have for today, for this week. I will hopefully be doing an update video. If I don't do one before the show next week, I will be doing one afterwards, and either way I'll definitely be doing a wrap-up in regards to how the show went, what did well, what didn't, all that fun stuff like I did last year. And I'll be keeping track of anything people ask for, are looking for, wishing that I had. And like I said, I am totally freaking out. So probably tomorrow I'm going to be going through and inventorying everything I have. I'm going to tag everything I have and put it all on a tracking sheet and assess what I can make in the next few days to fill in the gaps. I got some cool display stuff that I'm excited about getting to try out. Tuesday or Wednesday, I'm probably, well, it's going to have to be Tuesday or Wednesday, because I don't want to wait until Thursday. I'm going to be putting my whole booth together, making sure everything works, adjusting things, taking pictures of where I want them to be, making any notes. And then Thursday night, I'm going to get the car packed. Even though the show isn't until that evening, I want to have everything ready to go so I don't have to run around in the afternoon, because the show's actually from 4 to 9 Friday, 11 to something, I think 11 to 9 on Saturday, which is craziness, and then I think it's maybe 10 or 11 to 5 on Sunday. So I'm really hoping that I have enough stuff to get through the weekend. I also want to have a few things that are made but not stitched together. I want to have the parts for a few Zero Loveys completely ready to go. Like have the head with everything together, just not necessarily sewn onto the square. Things like that. Have some zombies ready on backup. I'm really sincerely afraid that I'm gonna be completely out of products before Sunday. Which isn't necessarily a bad thing, but I mean, I paid for the whole weekend. I like to be able to sell stuff all weekend. And I ordered some display cards for hair things. I have some for earrings that I think I'm gonna end up putting the stitch markers on, just because then I won't have to hole punch a million things, because I bought some of those black cards that specifically are for earrings from Michaels. I bought a big package of them. That way I can just use my grid wall and pop them up on some pegs and have that section be that. I have a few other display things for pricing that I'm going to use, which I will probably show you. Like I said, I'm going to take a few video clips once I get everything set up, get everything tested, all that, put it all together when it's all done. And I got some of those little mini chalkboards that are supposed to be for actual place cards for tables and stuff, for big banquets. I just thought that it would be good for prices. And I used to have a big pack of magnets. I thought maybe I could put magnets on the back of them and just stick them on my grid wall. But if I don't, I also got a thing of double-sided heavy-duty tape, and I got chalk markers so that I can just write prices and a few words on the little thing. It's like 3x4, I think, so about this big. Not very big, but it'll be big enough for price points so that if people don't want to look at the tags on my items, which everything's also going to have a tag so that I can keep track of what I sell. When I do my inventory sheets, when I have multiples of an item, I don't just write, I have a quantity of 5. On the back of each tag, I'll write, say, 1 of 5, 2 of 5, 3 of 5, so that I can mark those off as I go. And then at the end of the day, I can look at them and say, okay, these ones are gone, these ones are still here. That way I have an accurate count of what's going on. I'm really hoping that I don't have to worry about anybody thinking that they need a 5-finger discount on my products, but I worked retail long enough that shrink and loss prevention is kind of ingrained in me. Theft prevention is a big deal. And just, I'm more type A than I ever thought that I was, I guess. So I like to be able to keep track of everything and know where everything is and how much of everything I have and what's selling, what isn't selling. Just, I don't understand how some people can just kind of fly by the seat of their pants and just write up a sheet and slap it on their table. Like, no. If you're comfortable doing it that way, great. I am not. I am way too neurotic about everything being just so for that to work for me. So now that I've rambled for like an extra 10 minutes about nothing of import, that is it for me for this week, and really hoping that the show goes well. If nothing else, I get to have some mommy time amongst like-minded-ish people. If you're a stay-at-home parent, you know that you love your children. You love them to death, but sometimes you just need some air. Air, please. Put on your own air mask first, right? Right. Anyway, thank you so much everybody for watching. If you haven't joined the Facebook group already and you would like to, so that you can share what you're working on and share pattern links and watch for sales and stuff with a whole bunch of us, there's over 200 members in my Facebook group. It's Random Randy's Random Family. Really easy to find. I'm also on Instagram, and Twitter is kind of a joke. I just have things auto post to there, but if you're interested in that, if you don't do the other things, that exists too. Have all of that information in the little coffee making thing at the beginning of the video in the intro. So yeah, thank you again everybody so much for watching. Thanks for sticking around. I'm now at over 2,000 subscribers, which is super, super cool. And so thank you so much for watching everybody, and I will catch you in the next video. Bye.